Fight Fiend Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host, back for yet another full card prediction show for UFC Louisville. We got 14 fights, and I don't think it's going to be as easy as last week. We're not going to have a ton of favorites come through, and we're not going to walk away with a big bag of cash just from betting and parlaying the favorites. That's not going to happen because the underdogs are barking. Some of these odds don't make sense to me. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe the favorites run away with it, but I can't see it. There's going to be a big bang and a flurry of underdogs win in this stacked fight night. I can't wait for it. So cheers, everybody. We're in for a good one for sure. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about each and every fight. But first, let's do a quick, fast recap of last week, UFC 302. It went down in New Jersey, and we crushed it. 10 for 12 on the picks. We had a full card parlay. I'm going to pull it up right now. I had a $6 bet for $10,000. I was 2 off. The only 2 picks I had wrong. I had Phil Rowe, KO or decision, and Alex Morono on the money line. Yeah, they did not fight hard in the third round, and they did not push a very good pace. That was hard to watch. Very hard to watch. Could have swept the card, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. We're going to continue to grow and chase those big bags, because that was a massive one. 10 grand on $6. I mean, we're cooking up parlays like that all the time. We come close, but coming that close, only 2 off on a full card parlay, I mean, that was a first, and I was surprised it didn't hit. Phil Rowe, he was my favorite underdog on the card. That's the first X you're going to see here on the sheet. The next one, Morono, he was a favorite, 3-1, and it was a rematch fight that slipped when I was doing research. I forgot to mention it on my show as well, so it was a rematch fight. Nico Price knocked him out the first time. That was a little concerning. The fact that there was a lot of favorites winning at that point in the night, it was a little concerning. I thought Nico Price had a hell of a chance, and he won it by a decision. So credit to him, big win for him. He looked terrible against Robbie Lawler. Could have been scripted, but we're going to move on to that. Phil Rowe, though, he didn't push a hard pace in the third round. He didn't fight for our money. He didn't fight for his fucking career, his whatever, man. He is going back-to-back losses inside of the UFC. He's not looking great. I'm not going to bet on him again. I'm not betting on Alex Morono again. We're going to get revenge on those 2 guys, and we did throughout the night. We had Kevin Holland by submission. We took that as a single play. The locks of the week, all 5 of them came through, plus 350, and it was plus 350 for the double dash bet. Me and Prelim Tim crushed another one. No doubt about that. We put in a lot of work, and it paid off. So easy money for all the hard work that me and Tim put in. It's good to see hitting back-to-back parlays, and we're going to do another double dash this weekend at UFC Louisville. Now, let's talk about a couple more positives before we start breaking down some more fights. We had Sean Strickland in the co-main event get the win, but one judge headed for Paulo Costa. That same judge had Mitch Raposo against Andre Lima. He made us sweat a little bit when I knew it was going to a split decision. I was like, what in the hell? I thought both the fights were unanimous decisions. The locks look fine, and we cashed a big bag there.
I don't even know what to say about that. It's insane. That guy shouldn't be judging big fights.
Let's see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below once I'm done breaking down the card, forecasting what I'm doing on this card. Let me know what you're doing. Forecast of the week, your most confident prop at plus money. Put hashtag forecast of the week. I'm choosing one each and every week. I'm going to ride along with you. Put money on that bet. Last week, we had Dustin Poirier by KO. And that was not a bad bet. If Dustin Poirier was going to win, like I said, it was going to be by knockout. He couldn't get it done, but he fought hard, and it was a good effort for Dustin Poirier. The Diamond, there's no shame in having him as a bet. He fought for your money, and Makhachev just proved that he's at another level. He had a lot of takedowns, control time, a lot of moments that submission could have cashed way earlier for us, but in the 5th round, he got it done, and he made me jump off the couch. Excited, stoked. For one moment, I thought Makhachev's going to take him to a decision, so Dustin Poirier showed his heart and his determination to get the job done. although he was going to come up short, he fought hard. And if you had bets on the knockout, there's no shame in that. If you had a Dustin Poirier money line, really no shame in that. At 5-1, that was priced incorrectly for sure. So let's start breaking down UFC Louisville. And we got a women's fight to start off the card. Now, these two are pretty new to the UFC. I'm not looking to invest heavy. You got to think at 30 years old and 28 years old, these two girls won't be around for, 10, 12 years. Are they UFC caliber? I don't know. One girl is making her debut, and she's going to have a lot of eyes on her. She has a whole country behind her, and she's in the biggest promotion in mixed martial arts. So, big moment for her against a girl that lost to Talita Alencar by split decision. She looked good. On the feet, she looked good, but she didn't have a ton of volume. She only got taken down once, but managed to get controlled for way too long. Lost her the fight. Can she beat a girl that's going to push forward and be a way better striker? I don't think so. I thought the bookies had it right. You got to think Tomar, Puja Tomar, as a favorite, was correct. She's now plus 187. It makes no sense, okay? I understand what you're thinking right now. This girl from India, yes, is giving you deja vu to Ansul Jubli. This is completely different. 100% different. Now, someone must think the deja vu is going to happen in this fight. The Indian fighter is not going to have success, but I got to say, I disagree with the line movement. Someone is thinking way too hard on this fight, and they're not doing their research. I watched Puja Tomar on YouTube, her highlights. Her striking is phenomenal. It's her front kicks, her forward pressure, her power that's going to win her this fight. She can win it by a decision. I wouldn't even be surprised if she can get a knockout finish. Rayanne Amanda here, Rayanne dos Santos, 14-7. Not the highest level girl. She got taken down once, but got controlled for majority of the fight. Couldn't win a decision. Now she's lost a couple other fights against Denise Gomes on the Contender Series, and she managed to get her call back to the UFC. Dos Santos, Amanda, has never won in the UFC. She lost in the Contender Series, and she lost in her debut. I mean, outside of the UFC, she beat a girl that was 6-3 by a decision, 5-5 by a decision. Alencar is one-dimensional, and that loss isn't very good either, to be honest. 4-0, very green, very one-dimensional. You lost a split decision. You lost to Denise Gomes by unanimous, who was 5-1, green, one-dimensional with the power. And now you're fighting a girl who fought at one championship 4 years ago. She did get knocked out to a girl that was undefeated, but she came back, won her last 4 fights. Don't get me wrong, not the highest level of competition. A debut fighter took her to a split decision, knocked out a girl that was 2-1, beat a girl that was 6-8 by knockout. Most recently, though, she beat a girl that was 8-2. The competition level is going up, and her kicks really won her that fight. If you go back and watch, her opponent's legs were beat up. If she uses that game plan, kicks, forward pressure, she's going to have the better striking. She's not going to get taken down. If she gets taken down, Rayanne was reversed in one of her fights. She won to Julian DeCourcy. She got reversed. She didn't have much control on the ground. Julian was able to reverse position, get back on her feet, no problem. And this girl from India is going to be ready to go. The Cyclone is going to be ready to go. I got to think they're matching her up with a favorable spot to get a win against a girl that I don't know why she's seeing the love on the line movement here. Someone is putting their money where their mouth is, but clearly they lacked doing research. The line flopped pretty early in the week. You got to think someone put a large wager down with a quick assumption. I'm hoping I'm right, because at these odds, I'm planning to bang the bookies with Puja Tomar at plus 187. Yeah. Opened as a favorite. Yeah. Opened as a favorite. Wherever that money came in, I don't agree. Vegas knew she was a rightful favorite starting out. Somebody's putting their money where their mouth is, lacking some research, but, my tape study could have been wrong. We're going to find out. It's a women's fight. If anything, if you're betting it, take the underdog, because it's probably going 15 minutes. I don't think the new favorite, Rayanne dos Santos, can get a finish. If your favorite cannot get a finish, if you think the favorite doesn't have much of a chance to get a finish, probably stay away. I think Puja Tomar has levels to prove on the feed here. She could absolutely get a finish, but over 15 minutes, she can prove to us, prove to you if you disagree, she is the better striker. Let's see it, Puja. I'm going to bang the bookies. At plus 187, I feel like it's a gift. Someone just is handing it to us on this one. The next fight I'm forecasting is a bantamweight fight between Cody Stamann and Taylor Lapilus. And I have to fade the public again. I'm looking at Tapology. 80% have Taylor Lapilus. He's the favorite. Vegas thinks he's going to win. And they opened him up to win, but I disagree with everybody. I really do. Cody Stamann, 21-6, has a ton of experience inside of the UFC. He's 2-3 in his last 5. His only 2 wins come to Luan Lacerda by a decision and Eddie Wineland by knockout. But he has something to prove. In his last fight against Douglas Silva de Andrade, he had some takedowns that he could mix into this fight. Looking at Lapilus, he just lost to Farid Basharat. The game plan is there. Get takedowns, get control time. Lapilus is just going to pinpoint his way to a decision. He's going to sit back and just take some counter shots and not put out too much pressure. He's not going to walk forward. He's not going to want to eat too much shots. He's going to be relaxed, composed. He's technical. And I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to play out too good. Cody Stamann has pressure, and he loves to push forward. And the judges are going to love to see that. It sounds like I have pretty high confidence in Cody Stamann against all odds, against everybody on Tapology. Like, I don't believe in a guy that just came back to the UFC and barely threw shots against Kalen Loughran, a guy that was making his debut. Not a very impressive performance. Not one that's going to get me to bet him on this fight as a favorite. I think Cody Stamann can have the forward pressure, get some takedowns, control time. Like I said, Taylor Lapilus, he just lost, just got taken down and controlled a bunch. The game plan is there. Cody Stamann, he's going to want to get back in the win column. He lost his 5th last fight to Merab Dvalishvili, had more control time in that fight. I mean, he's fought the higher level competition. He's more seasoned and ready to go. 34 years old. He's only 2 years older. He's been the company guy. He's not afraid to take fights. Obviously, he fought Said Nurmagomedov as well. Didn't go his way. He got submitted in that one, but he's constantly going to learn and evolve as a fighter. Where Taylor Lapilus, he's pretty just content, sitting back, pacing his way to a decision. I don't like betting on favorites that are just going to sit back, relax, and try to win a decision. I want to see a fight for your money, and I can trust Cody Stamann to fight for my money. The only thing that really concerns me in this fight is that 8-inch reach advantage for Taylor Lapilus. I mean, that always comes in handy. Staying at distance, it's going to work into his game plan. But Cody Stamann training at Extreme Couture, I feel like he's going to grind this one out. His gym definitely knows how to do that. He's training with killers each and every day. Sean Strickland, Dan Iggy. I got to trust in Cody Stamann to push forward and grind his way to a decision. I don't think he's going to get the finish. Taylor Lapilus is tough. In a situation that you think a fight's going to be close, you think it's going the distance, taking the underdog is never a bad idea. It's going to be a crazy card. Entertaining, yes. Hard to predict, 100%. Are we going to make some money? I hope so. We got to know when to stay away, when to bet the overs and unders, and we're going to be fine. This fight could be a situation. Take the over. Over 1.5, over 2.5. Taking Cody Stamann by a decision or on the money line. Could hurt a parlay. It hurt me taking Phil Rowe. And we got so many underdogs. We don't know which ones are going to be the correct ones to be on. Maybe each and every underdog I take hits. Then we're going to get paid really good. But the chances of that, realistically, I know aren't the best. But I'm going to war with my picks, with these underdogs. And I hope I get paid. I'm not going overly heavy. That's my advice. Don't bet what you can't afford to lose. So don't go heavy. Don't go heavy on these underdogs. But they're definitely worth a sprinkle. If you like the picks I'm giving, I think they're worth a sprinkle. Put them in the parlay and have the opportunity to have the parlay crushed. I don't think it's worth it. Not this week. Play the overs. Play the unders. The fight to go the distance even. You know, depending on the prices, we're going to pick parlay options that are going to hit. Playing the money lines, props. Little sketchy. We got lucky last week, but this week, I'm telling you, it ain't going to be that easy. So we're going to have to stay smart and calculated with the eyes on the prize. Next fight, we got another women's fight. And this girl here, she has her eyes 100% set on the prize. She knows who to train with. Jailton Almeida. Another Brazilian here, Eduarda Moura, has won every single fight. 10-0. Her last 5 is impressive. Taking a step up in competition each and every fight. 2-0 to 2-1 to 6-3, 5-0, 10-3. Now she's fighting Denise Gomes, 8-3. The UFC might be giving her a little bit of a favored matchup. Denise just lost to Angela Hill by a decision. Now, Eduarda can do the same thing, but get a finish. She can get a finish. TKO, KO, submission. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. She's so dominant. She's the rightful favorite. One of my most confident picks on the card. You know, when I have a Brazilian pick, I'm confident on them. They're lock of the week material. That's what it is, and that's what has been happening. I'm going to predict 14 fights on the card. I'm going to have some correct. You got to think this is one that is money in the bag. 100% cash this ticket. One decision win. I kind of think she could win a decision. You look at the decision win in 2022, not too long ago, the opponent was 12-4. She struggled to get the finish. Her last fight, she fought a girl that was pretty old. Took her to the second round. It went halfway through the second round. Now, you're fighting a tough girl, a very, very tough Denise Gomes. Giving credit to the underdog in this one. She's tough. I don't think she's getting knocked out, so she might get submitted. If she doesn't get submitted, though, she's going to lose a decision just because she gets taken down and controlled, and she's going to get outworked. The judges are going to see it. The favorite will win, but the favorite might not get a finish. People might load up on the finish. 4 knockout wins, 5 submissions, 1 decision. I'm going to forecast that this is a spot that the big favorite wins the decision, where everybody thinks she's going to get the finish. She's only won one. She's only won 1 decision. It's time for 2. The level of competition continues to get harder for her. In this fight, Denise Gomes is tough. I believe she won't get finished. So hopefully, not everybody else is taking her, the favorite here, Eduarda Moura, by a decision. Hopefully they're loading up on the finish, and we can get a valuable price on this prop. If someone wants to give out Eduarda Moura by a decision as forecast of the week, it's going to be plus money. There's no doubt in my mind. And the next fight we're breaking down is a card that I broke, ripping UFC cards. John Castaneda, Sexy Mexi. I got a 1 of 10 of him, and he's the previewed card. Remember last week I flipped 2 down. They lost. I only had Jailton Almeida to win out of the 3 cards I had up there. Now this week, I got two of them. You're going to find out which ones I'm forecasting to win. Now, the Sexy Mexi, I think he's a good pick. Slight favorite. Odds flipped. I think Marco's opened as the favorite. Nobody really banged the fucking odds or anything like that. It's just, a little bit of shirt money, stuff like that. A little bit of action on John Castaneda as the dog. As the favorite. I still agree here. I got to think he wins against a guy that makes his fights close. Came off a accidental groin kick where he just couldn't keep control of his weapons. And he beat Davey Grant. It was super close. But in this one, if you're going to have a fucking close fight with John Sexy Mexi Castaneda, not a good decision. He can push forward. He knows how to win fights. He's been in the UFC for quite a bit now. He has way more experience than Daniel Marcos. And that goose egg, it's just sitting there staring me in the face saying, this is it. 15-0, that egg's going to crack. It's going to crack. Now, Sexy Mexi has takedowns, control time, and submission abilities that can stop Daniel Marcos and crack that egg. It's not a spot where Marcos is a favorite. Being undefeated, you would think he's going to be the favorite, but he's not. So, Vegas once again being sharp, making Sexy Mexi the favorite. And now I'm going to pull up my line movement tracker because I believe Marcos opened as the favorite. I don't want to give false information on the show. So I'm going to look here. And Sexy Mexi opened at 220. Plus 110, 220 for John Castaneda was the initial price. We're getting him as a favorite now. It's sharp money coming in, I'd say. This is a good spot, though. Looking at the line movement here for fucking Puja, Tomar, and Rayanne DeSantos there. It's line movement that I've never seen in the last couple of weeks. We're talking 240 for Rayanne to 144. They completely flipped the odds. Puja went from 153 as a favorite to plus 187. So 153 is something in the negatives. I don't know how to transition that. I'm doing the Canadian decimals here. 153 to 287. So that's a significant difference. That line movement's insane. I don't agree with it, but this line movement here, Sexy Mexi to the dog to the favorite, I gotta agree. I think it's right. I got him as the showcase of the week. A little bit biased on the pick, but taking a guy that doesn't have much experience inside of the octagon, that we don't know much about, that makes his fights close, just doesn't sit well with me. And obviously someone else agrees. We got the go-ahead that Sexy Mexi has money coming in, and it's sharp money coming in. I think he's safe to bet in this fight. I think the goose egg is going away. It's getting cracked. And John Castaneda is going to be the guy to do it. If you agree, you agree. But this is still a very volatile fight. Marcos is undefeated. He is good on the feet. He has power. He could get the KO. John Castaneda was knocked out to Daniel Santos not too long ago. On the feet, he could get cracked. It's MMA. So, we'll see what happens here. Undefeated. He's going to fight hard. He doesn't want to lose. He's going to constantly be improving, right? He's not going to just be happy with being undefeated and not work hard. He's going to continue to grow, continue to try to defend that goose egg. But there's going to come a time that he fights a guy with too much experience. That's too seasoned. The Sexy Mexi, I forecast, is the guy to do it. Let's go. And next up, we got another pretty well coin flip fight between Andrea KGB Lee and Montella De La Rosa. Both these girls on a losing streak. 3 losses for Montana De La Rosa and 4 in a row. All red for KGB Lee. She had a good run. She had a great run. 35 years old. She is 6 years older. She has the experience. A ton more experience. This is also a rematch fight. I'm not going to forget to mention this. Andrea Lee beat her unanimously. 2019, easy dub. They both have had a rocky path the last couple fights, okay? Ariana Lipsky, 13-6, was De La Rosa's last win. She had a draw against Mayra Buena Silva, 7-1. That was a very good draw. But she just lost to JJ Aldrich, 12-6. Like, come on now. She got submitted to Tatiana Suarez, who came back after a layoff. Like, easy work. Tatiana is undefeated. She's a beast, but easy work. Andrea Lee, like, lost to Miranda Maverick, lost to Natalia Silva, lost to Macy Barba. A close loss. Coleslaw. Seems like coleslaw. Close loss. Coleslaw. Close loss. Coleslaw. Yeah, she had a coleslaw to Macy Barber. She had a great fight in that one. Macy Barber beat Montana De La Rosa by unanimous decision. So that's another indicator. Not just the rematch. Not just the fact that Andrea Lee already beat her. The fact that she took Macy Barber to a coleslaw. You know what I mean? Montana did not come close to getting coleslaw on that one. She got dominated. So Macy is another factor. So I got to think 5 years after their first fight, Andrea Lee is still going to win this one. She's the rightful favorite. And we're getting a good price. She's only like a very slight favorite. I'm pretty confident she's going to win this fight and just breeze her way to a decision. Easy breezy. Andrea Lee, KGB Lee gets it done. All three judges should have it for her. Honestly. If it goes to a split though, she's still going to get her hand raised. It's a women's fight. We're going to see what happens. No big underdog in this one. You got to think with Topology, what are they saying? Do they think Andrea Lee gets it done? Do they think she wins the decision? They don't know. It's a 50-50 fight. 51% on Montana De La Rosa. 92% have her by a decision. And 96% have Andrea Lee by a decision. Out of that, 49% on Andrea Lee. Pretty clear indication here. This fight's going 15. Bet the over 1.5. Bet over 2.5. The fight's going the distance. Who's going to win, though? It's not as clear. 12-9 versus 13-9. I mean, these girls, both of them should be on their way out of the UFC, but one of them is definitely getting sent packing after this one. I think they want Andrea Lee around for a couple more fights. She's 35. She's done a lot for the company. They're going to give it to her over 15 minutes. She's going to absolutely earn it and prove it. What they're giving her is an easy matchup to go out there and get a win after losing 4 fights in a row. They're giving her a girl she already beat. Easy enough. Let's go do it. KGB Lee for the win. Let's go. Next fight of the night, we're breaking down Brad Katona, Jesse Butler. Mustache curse. Right here. Right now. Jesse Butler has it. Is he going to show up fight night with a mustache? Maybe not. But Brad Katona, biggest favorite on the card. He's going to win. He's Canadian. He acts Irish. He acts like McGregor. Trained with McGregor at SBG Ireland. He has great training there. He has great credentials. Now he has 2 Ultimate Fighter wins. Pretty impressive, but he's coming off a loss in Canada to Garrett Armfield. Armfield is definitely better than Jesse Butler, who just got knocked out to Jim Miller in the very first round. But, I mean, Butler has a big reach here. It's something like 8 inches once again, so a massive reach advantage. He's going to want to stay to the outside. He's going to want to avoid every takedown from Brad Katona, who just pushes a hard pace. Takedowns, control time. I got to think he has success. Superman is his nickname. He's going to save us on this one. Simply just looking into the level of competition of these two guys and who they have fought gives you the odds at that. 5-1. Brad Katona is respectful. He's going to come in here, save the day. He beat Cody Gibson, unanimous decision. His last number of wins, all by decision. Now, I said if you're betting a favorite, you don't want to bet on a guy that you just have to trust him to win a decision. But this is a spot where a guy that just dominates decisions is going to win the fight. Clear cut and dry. But Jesse Butler has a chance to get finished. His chin, can it hold up after that last fight? It likely can with that reach advantage, but can he get submitted? Will he get submitted is another question. I've been asking myself that as I was making my pick. I just thought, like, Katona has too many decision wins. He does have a couple wins by finish. If he's going to get one, it has to be in this fight here against Jesse Butler, man. Butler is number 237 worldwide in the lightweight division. And now he's up against number 63 from bantamweight. Am I missing something here? He fought Jim Miller, got knocked out at 155, and now he's fighting Brad Katona at 135. Yeah, he's getting smoked. If he makes weight, he might just be huge for the weight class, have a ton of power, and it might be good for him. But he beat a 17-9 opponent, 15-8, 9-5, 24-28. He has not fought the guys Brad Katona has fought. He's going to lose a decision, is likely what's going to happen, but, you know, Katona, if he got a finish, wouldn't surprise me. He's due for one. He just lost a decision where the judges might have robbed him. I kind of thought he had a chance to win, but Garrett Armfield won a unanimous decision. So we're going to see how hard of a pace Katona pushes. We're going to see how relentless he gets for a finish. His last finish was a guillotine choke in the third round against a guy that was 8-0. So he can do it. He can definitely do it. He submitted Bryce Mitchell in the third round as well. You know, if he's going to win by finish, I'm calling the submission by rear naked choke or a guillotine. Those are the two ways that he does it. And his last three submission wins, all in the third round. That's something to think about. Third round submission, Brad Katona, it's on the board. And another thing really to think about would be this guy here, Jesse Butler, moving down 2 weight classes. That just does not seem correct, but it's happening. He fought at 155 in his last fight to Jim Miller, and now he's fighting at 135 against Katona. And he's a $5 underdog, man. This could be a spot for a crazy upset with this guy just walking in with a ton of power, 8-inch reach advantage. You never know. It's MMA. It's a crazy sport. It's going to be a wild card. I said the underdogs are going to be barking, and this guy here, Jesse Butler, he still has something to prove. This is a big spot for him. And next up, this is exactly what I mean by the odds. We got Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radtke against Carlos Prates. And both these guys coming off a first-round knockout win. Second-round knockout win for Carlos Prates, sorry. In the first round, he did nothing, Carlos, against Trevin Giles. In the second round, he got it going and had the one-punch shot, sent Trevin Giles on his ass. But, you know, he wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking promising. For Prates, I'm a little concerned. Coming off the Contender Series at 30 years old, 29 years old, it's a little bit late coming into a big promotion, and you're fighting a guy that has been trained with some pretty high-level guys. Charles Radtke, he's no slouch. He just knocked out my former lock of the week, Gilbert Urbina. He looked hella good, first-round KO, and he was throwing some big shots. Shots that Carlos Prates might not be able to get out of the way of. Carlos does have a 6-inch reach advantage to help him out, stay at distance, and even get a big counter shot in here on Charles Radtke. You know, Vegas has him as a favorite. They obviously think that he's a promising prospect or something. It could be a trap as well. Charles Chuck Buffalo Radtke has game. He's a dog. He'll fight for your money. And I think with less of a reach advantage, he's going to try to close the gap, make the fight dirty, maybe get some takedowns here as well. Carlos Prates' game on the ground probably isn't good. So I'm going to pull it up here He's been submitted, I'm pretty sure, a few times. And if you take him there, Charles Radtke against Blood Diamond didn't have success, but in this fight, it's a completely different matchup, a completely different opponent. He could have success. Now, he has many first-round finishes, Charles Radtke does, and that is where he finds a lot of his finishes. In that first round, he beat Raheem Forrest, undefeated fighter, by submission in that first round as well. So it's just a situation where you got a very live underdog against a guy that you can't trust. Looking at his Contender Series fight, he looked good. One big straight left hand, dropped his opponent, Mitch Ramirez, who got finished in the third round to Thiago Moises to leg kicks. Showed that he can't check leg kicks. He's not the highest caliber guy, so Carlos Prates, I need to see more from him, especially after that last fight to Trevin Giles. He was standing there and doing nothing. He was doing nothing. Chuck Buffalo, I can trust him. He's going to push forward. He's going to be relentless, and he's going to give the Nightmare a nightmare. That's my opinion. Chuck Buffalo, inside the distance, is the play. He has a lot of first-round finishes. If you want to play it in the first round, it's sketchy, but it could hit. So if it ain't the first round, I think he will find it eventually. Into the second, third. Carlos doesn't have a gas tank to go 15 hard minutes with Chuck Buffalo. That's what I'm seeing right now in the back of my head. He's going to gas out, and he cannot rely on that one-shot power each and every fight. He has 6 losses. He's coming into the UFC a bit old here. Like, there's something up about this guy. I don't think he should be a favorite. I'm taking my chances on a dog once again. He has 2 knockout losses and 3 submission losses. All of them in the first round. Carlos Prates, there's something up with this guy. I think he's about to get exposed. I'm warning you. I'm giving you a clear warning that this guy here has been finished 5 times in the first round. I'm playing Chuck Buffalo in the first round. Let's see what happens. He's the dog. He's the betting underdog. Topology, they're not going to agree. And most people listening aren't going to agree either. It might not go my way, but like I said, I'm going to war with my picks. And I'm going to trust in my instincts. Let's keep it going here. Another fight on the card that is not easy to forecast. I don't think I've had an easy fight to forecast yet, other than Eduarda Moura, who's training with Jailton Almeida, right? Other than that, we've had very difficult fight to cap, difficult fight to cap, very difficult to cap, difficult to cap. And now we got Thiago Moises against Ludovit Klein. And the bookies have Thiago Moises as the underdog. Plus 100. It hasn't moved. It's staying firm. But I think it's wrong. There's no money coming in on this fight yet. I don't know why. I think it's because the bookies did a good job of keeping people away betting on this one. Thiago Moises at plus 100 seems like a good spot. He's fought the higher level competition, but Ludovit Klein has power. He has takedowns as well. And that seems to be how Thiago Moises likes to win his fights. Takedowns, submissions. And Ludovit Klein has been submitted, but I don't know if it's going to be easy to get him down. So, can he stay at distance, attack the legs? His leg kicks against Mitch Ramirez look phenomenal. Heavy kicks that made Mitch quit. Thiago Moises is not just going for takedowns and control time. He's not one-dimensional like we all thought. Like, he's pretty well-rounded. He's quite equipped. He has a lot of ways to win, in my opinion. I think he has more ways to win as well. So at plus 100, I'm going Thiago Moises. I'm not the most confident. Like, I'm going to respect the power and pressure and takedowns of Ludovit Klein, but the level of competition has to favor Thiago Moises. He's fought Islam Makhachev, Joel Alvarez. He beat Christos Giagos, submission in the first round. Submitted Malquizale Costa, second round. Fought Benoit Saint Denis, took him to a second round. He beat Bobby Green, Alexander Hernandez, both decision wins, unanimous. Submitted Michael Johnson, another vet of the game. Like, he's fought hands down the better competition. I think he's winning this fight. I think it could go 15. I also think Thiago Moises could get the submission. He's really good at it. Ludovit Klein, he does have good takedowns, good control of time, but he has been submitted before. I don't think he's getting knocked out. I think he can check leg kicks, but I don't know if he can stop a submission from Thiago Moises. I think Thiago Moises has enough success in this fight to get his hand raised by a fucking decision if he can't get that submission. I'm going with my Brazilian. I'm trusting my instinct, and we're going to move on to the next fight. Am I going to get overly invested here? We're going to see. It's a coin flip fight. It's price 50-50. I'm going to respect the price. I'm going to respect no line movement coming in on Ludovit Klein or Thiago Moises. And I'm probably just going to stay away. But we're going to do a props and parlay show on Friday. I'll let you know if Thiago Moises is a lock, a dog, a prop of the week, anything like that. So come back, tune in, and we're going to see if we do anything with Thiago Moises or if we just leave him off. So that's a good chance. I honestly see this fight going 15. It's definitely going over a round and a half, so over 1.5. Let's punch our ticket there and secure another bag. Bang, bang, bang. Now, before we dive deep with the main card, please smash the like button, suplex the subscribe button. I have 6 dogs on this card. 6 betting underdogs. Woo-wee. I'm not just taking favorites. I'm not just taking favorites. Last week I had a couple favorites, 1 or 2 dogs, but I do my research, and then I determine who's going to win. Then I come on here and forecast it. You absolutely do not have to agree with each and every fight. You don't have to go and bet each and every pick that I have. Even if I say it's 100% going to hit, you don't have to agree. You don't have to go bet on it. It's your money. Do what you want with it. Take my information and do what you want with it. I'm just here telling you what I'm about to do, what I'm feeling, what my instinct is. This is a Fight Fiend forecast. I'm feeding fights each and every week. I wish after a weekend like that, we could have fights each and every day. Every day, man. We made some good money, but we can't have weeks like that each and every card. Maybe we can. We're going to try to. We're going to continue to grow and learn from the losses. And I think in the last 2 years, we've done nothing but improve. So we're going to continue to stay positive and grow and keep the momentum rolling forward. So let's get into this main card. Let's stop wasting time and let's deliver some bags. We got Punahele Soriano, Miguel Baeza, and Baeza has not fought in 2 years. He just got knocked out to Andre Fiallo. He got knocked out before that to Chaos Williams. 2 guys that love to throw with power, but now they're giving him Punahele Soriano, who won his last 2 fights by KO. Delcha Lungambula knocked that guy out cold with an overhand left and an uppercut. I mean, Punahele has power, and it's a spot where Miguel Baeza coming back after 2 years might get hit with some Caramel Thunder. That's his nickname. I know it's a funny name, Caramel Thunder, but yeah, he's going to get creamed with a shot and go down here. He's taking a break. He's been knocked out in his last 2. Punahele, he got submitted to Stoltfus in his last one. He got knocked out to Kopylov, who is much higher level than Andre Fiallo, Chaos Williams, and Santiago Ponzinibbio. Baeza couldn't beat Ponzinibbio, lost a decision there. So Punahele, if he can't find the KO, I mean, he should be able to show that he has more power. He's going to push forward. He's been more active and win a decision. Like, he is a finisher. He has more KOs than submissions. It's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. Punahele by KO. But he's the dog. Plus 140. Makes no sense. This is a spot where I just have a feeling that Punahele can get it done. He has more power. He's a better striker. On the ground, Miguel Baeza might try to go there, but I don't think he's going to have success. Punahele can keep it on the feet. If his last fight has taught him anything, it's to stay on the goddamn feet, use your power. Most of his shots as well come in the first round. So for playing Punahele Soriano, I think we got to play in the first round as well. Kind of like Chuck Buffalo, his finishes tend to come in the very first round. 2 submissions in the first, and 5 knockouts in the first. So I'm going to play Punahele round 1 KO, and I'm not going to look back. I'm going to war with the picks, with the dogs, and this is just another one out of 6 I'm taking and going to war with. Punahele Soriano is coming for blood against a guy that hasn't fought in 2 years, Miguel Baeza, and just lost his last 3. Lost his last 2 by knockout. I cannot trust the chin of this favorite, so I'm going to fade the pick of Miguel Baeza, and I'm going to bang Punahele Soriano on the money line at plus 140, 100%, and probably bang that knockout prop in the first round. We're going to load up and go to war with our picks, with the dogs, and we're not going to look back. It's going to be a fun card. We're going to pay the consequences afterwards, and we're going to learn from the losses. That's all we can do. Don't get overinvested in any picks, any fights. Only bet what you can afford to lose. That's the best advice I can give. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Don't overdo it on anything. Nothing is a guarantee. My locks, even if I'm on a heater, it's never a guarantee. To the next fight, Zach Reese and Julian Marquez. The Cuban Missile Crisis. I thought Zach Reese was the real deal. He was a big favorite against Cody Brundage. Now, the market has completely retraced. It's fixed itself. This is a coin flip fight against a guy that won 2 fights out of his last 5. You would think Zach Reese would be another big favorite, but maybe someone knows something we don't. Maybe someone knows something we don't on a couple of these fights, but we're going to see here. We got the line movement tracker to look at after these fights happen to see if it was correct, this money coming in or not, because Zach Reese as a coin flip, I mean, I feel like we're getting a fair price on him. I think he was overhyped against Cody Brundage, but Brundage came out there and got a lucky knockout slam win. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. Does Zach Reese have a bad chin? I don't think so. I think he has dangerous striking. In the first round, he comes out there swanging and banging. He can get a submission as well. He beat a guy that was undefeated, 6-0. He beat a guy that was 5-10. Beat a guy that was 6-3. And beat a guy that was debuting. His level of competition is not the best. People are probably picking up to that. So you look at Julian, the Cuban Missile Crisis. He can bring war. He can bring a fight. Now, he lost his last 2 by knockout, yes, but if his durability is there, he could survive. He could make this fight dirty, but looking at his wins, Sam Alvey, 33-14, 13-7 Maki Pitolo. Like, I don't really think so. Julian Marquez is a dog. He'll fight for your money, but his durability, questionable at this point. His reach advantage is non-existent in this fight. He's lacking 5 inches. It's going to be a problem for him. Zach Reese probably wins the decision. He's a guy that likes to finish fights. He's a guy that finished a lot of fights in the first round. He's also a guy that has fought pretty low-level competition, so I don't know what's going to happen. The dog could be live. I'm picking so many dogs on this card. I'm not going dog in this one. I'm going to expect Zach Reese to be a promising prospect, the one that we thought he was. Come out here, get the first round finish, knockout shot. Don't look to grapple. Don't look to get too close with the missile crisis here. Stay at distance. Pick your shots wisely. And if I'm being honest, I can see a head kick happening here. He's going to set up a head kick, and he's going to throw it, and he's going to land it. He's going to finish Julian Marquez with a beautiful head kick. Beautiful shot up high to the head. And it's truly going to be a devastating sight for all the Miley Cyrus and Julian Marquez fans because, you know, they're going to be on board in this one. They're obviously thinking Zach Reese is a bum. He's a fraud. He's a fade. But I don't see it. At a coin flip price, I might have him in a little parlay. A little something. Definitely some action for sure. I got to think he is what he was supposed to be. That last fight was a fluke. He's going to come out here and he's going to fucking look phenomenal. I feel like a first round finish is inbound for Zach Reese. Head kick. I think they give him a favored matchup to get going. Julian Marquez got knocked out in his last 2 fights. The knockout shot is coming for Zach Reese. He's getting back in the win column. It's a great price, and we're going to get paid. At some point on this card, I got to put my money where my mouth is and bang the bookies. And like I said, we're going to war with the picks. We're trusting the instinct. And we're just going to continue to keep that momentum moving forward, not looking back. There's no need to look back. We've already learned from the losses in the past. We're not looking back saying, oh, this happened, that happened. No, we know what happened. We know what mistakes were made and know how to find that solution. Don't be betting on fights that you don't have the most confidence in. Don't be putting too much money on fights that you can't afford to lose. Play it smart. Be calculated. And let's fucking bang these bookies. Let's impregnate these bookies. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on. Let's go. The Hulk's back. Brunno Fiera is back against a very tough opponent now. Dustin Stolfus. We talked about Dustin Stolfus already. Now, is this a fight that he can survive? I mean, a striking defense isn't really the best. It's not my favorite. This is a guy I like to fade. Against Abus Magomedov, he got smoked in that first round. I had Abus KO. I got paid. I might look to do the same here. I honestly might, but Dustin Stolfus has a submission ability that I did not see coming against Punahele Soriano. It stung a little, but I really do plan to get revenge in this spot. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I got to bet on some fights on this card, and these Brazilians have been nothing but good to me. I take a favorite that is Brazilian, and they go out there and they perform. I usually lock them in as well, so lock of the week material, this guy Brunno, the Hulk Fiera could be it. He has power. He has 1 loss on the record against a guy that is an absolute specimen that we just figured out about, Nursultan Ruzaboev. So that was not a bad loss, really, looking back for Brunno. Ruzaboev can fight at a high level. He's a finisher. And Stolfus, man, isn't going to be as dangerous. I got to give him credit. He's training at Extreme Couture. He's training with some great guys. He's training with people in Germany, but at the end of the day, his chin, this is another guy that I can't trust. He's a 3-1 dog. There's already enough dogs coming through on this card. I don't love the pick for Stolfus. He upset Punahele, but he cannot upset the Hulk. It's just not something that I can see happening. He also lost to Gerard Mershit by submission. He lost to Rodolfo Vieira by submission. Brunno Fiera is a black belt. He has submissions on his record as well. He didn't just knock out the RoboCop. He didn't just knock out fucking Phil Haas. He has submissions. He can finish the job anywheres. It looks like he can just get knockouts. His last 4 wins are knockouts, but you got to trust me when I say this guy can get a submission. He's dangerous on the ground. And Dustin Stolfus, if he does go for a submission, it could be the biggest mistake of his fucking life in this fight. Brunno Fiera is dangerous. 100% finish rate. Only 3 submissions, but all in the first round. And his 8 knockouts, 6 in the first round. So there's going to be some fights on this card, we play in the first round. I'm being loud and clear about that. We're going to see some crazy fast finishes. But at the start of the prelims there, I mean, we're looking at a decision. A lot of decisions. And then we get into it closer to the main card, and we see finish. Round one. That's what I'm calling. That's what I'm forecasting. If you agree, if you can see the same thing happening, let's fucking go. Like, sharp minds think alike. I just see so many decisions at the start of this card, and then a bunch of finishes, couple first round finishes. And then at the end of the card, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen at the end of the card, because, man, we got a guy coming back that hasn't fought in 2 years as well. A couple guys coming back after 2 years on the couch. But, you know, there's more that's going on than just sitting on the couch. Dominic Reyes is fighting later on the card. We got to break down this 19-year-old first. I forgot. He's back. Raul Rosas Jr. against Ricky Turcios. Now, hopefully, Daddy doesn't cancel this one on Rosas Jr. because I guess he had some bad attitude, some stuff going on, and Daddy canceled the last one. And that was the one that they rescheduled. He got sick the first time, I guess, the day of the fight. But Daddy canceled the fight that they were supposed to reschedule. That was supposed to happen. It got canceled again, so I might be mistaken. I might be dreaming. I don't know. But Rosas Jr., Ricky Turcios, they're finally throwing down. Pretty Ricky might not look pretty after this one. The dude got taken down multiple times to Kevin Natividad. Managed to get the win. He lost to Eamon Zahabi, got taken down. I don't know if he got taken down in that one, but he lost. He got outstruck. He got knocked out to Manny Martinez, who is outside of the UFC now, who was 4-1 at the time, and that was 5 years ago. So Pretty Ricky has been beaten before. He has been knocked out before and not looked so pretty. So Rosas Jr. in his last fight, coming off a knockout win to a tall, lanky opponent after a takedown, or dropped him. I think he has potential to get the knockout, but honestly, I see him just shooting a takedown, being relentless, maybe getting a submission. Now, his knockout ability, he has 2 knockouts. It's not the best, but he showed that he has power. He went for the ground and pound after he did drop Terrence Mitchell, but he can keep position on the ground very well. Ricky Turcios is scrambly, where in this fight I don't think he will be. When he gets taken down or gets dropped, I can see Rosas Jr. locking in a submission and putting Ricky in a bad situation that he cannot get out of. He can't get out of a deep, suffering submission, suffocating submission. I mean, like, Jay Perrin, if you look at how tight that submission was, I don't know if any man could get out of it. Rosas Jr., he's young, full of hormones. I gotta think he's coming out here first, second round, putting a pace on Ricky Turcios, getting the job done. Ricky's takedown defense is not good. He's going to be working on it. He's going to be trying his absolute best, but I don't think that's enough. I do not think that's enough. There's too much fucking piss and vinegar in the blood of Rosas Jr., who's going to come out here like a bat out of hell looking for a win. He already lost to Christian Rodriguez. He had a submission attempt in that fight that was tight as hell. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't win in that fight by submission. He knocked out Terrence Mitchell, but like that was a once-in-a-blue moon type of situation. He's not going to just have a bunch of unanswered shots in this fight with Ricky Turcios. Ricky Turcios will scramble. He will answer. He will try to get back to his feet. So Rosas Jr. is going to have to get his hooks in and get that submission locked in. I'm going Rosas Jr. First round submission. And I already know this is a fight that a lot of people are not going to agree on. They're going to think Ricky Turcios is going to put up one hell of a fight. It's going the distance for sure. But, you know, if it goes the distance, it's going to be Rosas Jr. Still going to be him for a win. 3-1 favorite here will cover. He's going to have takedowns galore, control time galore. But I'm telling you, it's like with the takedowns, Rosas Jr. ain't going to fuck around. He's getting those hooks in. He's getting the submission. And it's going to come sooner than later. Ricky Turcios is not going to look like Pretty Ricky in this one. He's getting beat up. and he's getting boiled. I'm going Rosas Jr. in this fight here with high confidence. The next fight is finally Dominic Reyes. His return, he got knocked out to fucking Ryan Spawn in his last fight. I thought that was the spot. I thought that was it. I thought for sure that was it. There's going to be a point where the UFC sets up Dominic Reyes for the win. He lost 4 in a row. He lost 4 fights in a row. One of them to John Jones. The first out of 4 to John Jones, where he almost knocked him out. And you know what? He knocked out Yuri Prochazka with an up kick on the ground from his back. He was landing some heavy shots on Yuri, and Yuri got knocked out at one point. I'm telling you he did. And managed to come back and get a spinning elbow finish on Dominic. Now, Dominic wore some punishment in that fight. He wore punishment against Jan Blachowicz before that. And then, like I said, Ryan fucking Spawn beat him. Spawning in and ruining the night for us. Like, Dominic Reyes, I thought that was the spot for you, buddy. If this is not the spot, you're going to make me look like an idiot. You're going to make me look dumb here because I put you with high confidence on my platinum pick sheet, and I expect you to cover. Dustin Jacoby has lost 3 fights out of his last 4, all by a decision. I cannot trust this favorite to push a pace, to win a fight. He lost 3 by a decision. 2 by split. 1 by split. 2 unanimous. He cannot push a pace to win a fight against a guy that is hungry as hell. Lost 4 in a row. Looking at the paragraph that Dominic Reyes put on Instagram, man, if he can't win this one, it's over. It's done. It's over. 4 losses in a row. He needs this fight. He's younger in this fight. He's 2 years younger. He's going to be quicker, sharper. He says he has something to show us. He's going to show us. This is the new era of Dominic Reyes. I'm telling you this. I'm taking plus 187. I'm going to the bank with it. He's the better fighter. Dustin Jacoby has tons of experience in kickboxing. He's a technical fighter, but he cannot push a pace to win a fight. He lost 3 out of his last 4 by a decision to fucking Khalil Roundtree and Alonzo Menifield. I think Dominic Reyes is levels above those 2 guys. He almost beat John Jones. He should have beat John Jones. He almost beat Yuri Prochazka. Now, he had some hell of a curse after John Jones, but he is due for a win. He's getting a favored matchup here. Jacoby is very tough to finish. I'm going Dominic Reyes by a decision. I could see him surprising us, getting a finish. Submission, knockout, it doesn't really matter. I like the money line. I like this underdog. And I like Dominic Reyes' chances. I don't care if you agree or not. Dustin Jacoby, he has 2 knockouts in his last 2 wins. Kennedy Nzechukwu, Dawoon Jun. Very good wins, but he's getting old. He's 36. He's slowing down. Against Alonzo Menifield, he really didn't impress me. He did not prove to me that he can take on a guy like Dominic Reyes and dominate and get the knockout finish. But if he does, I mean, looking at the track record for Dominic, it's not great. His last 3 losses all by knockout. The chin could be just completely gonzo. There could be no hope, but if there's anybody that's going to trust in Dominic Reyes and have faith for his revenge, it's the Fight Fiend forecast. I'm going with another underdog. Is this number 6? It's number 5. So the last fight, the main event, we've seen favorite. We're due for the dog. A couple weeks ago, everybody was going with the narrative that the underdogs are going to win. Underdogs are winning in 2023. Like, I don't see that narrative getting pushed anymore, but it is what it is. I told you, you can't just go off that narrative. You got to look at each and every fight individually, but at some point, we've seen 4 favorites. It's time for a dog. It is time for a dog. How many times have I said the underdogs are barking on this card? Is this underdog a guy with more experience? He won 4 out of his last 5. Split decision win to Sean Strickland. Strickland beat Nasruddin Imavov. Imavov is stepping in here after beating Roman Dolidze by majority decision. It got close. It got sweaty. And that was 3 months ago. It was not that long ago. Quick turnaround where Jared Cannonier also has the rest advantage. 11 months of rest, of training. At 40 years old, he needed it. It helps him. And fuck, like, it could set him up for a great fight here. He has way more rest. He has way more power. He has 25 minutes to work. He beat Marvin Vettori, a high-level guy, by a decision, unanimously. He beat the former champ Sean Strickland, split decision. I can't take anything away from the Killer Gorilla. I got to pick him to win at plus 120. With how many underdogs are barking on this card, I'm going with the Killer Gorilla. And I think he's fought the better competition. I think he's made his fights look easier. Now, Nasruddin, he looked very good against Chris Curtis, but against Dolidze, it could have went either way. He lost to Sean Strickland unanimously. He couldn't deal with that level of competition. Nasruddin is very good. I have him here as a showcase card, but it's not happening. It ain't it. He's not going to win, in my opinion. I think Killer Gorilla is at another level. I think at 40 years old, he could be due for another title shot. Like, he did beat Sean Strickland by split decision, and then Sean went on to beat Izzy, fight Izzy, have that opportunity. The Killer Gorilla, if he gets a finish, if he makes it impressive at 40 years old, I'd say you give him another chance. He's done very good things for the company. He's on a run, winning 4 out of his last 5, only losing to Izzy by a decision. It's impressive to me. I think he can win this fight by a decision, though. Maybe he gets the finish with the time off. He's been working hard. He's 40. He needs a big moment. You never know. You got to play the money line. When you're not sure if he's getting the KO, if he's getting the decision, could he sneak a submission? You play it money line. You play it safe. Now, am I confident? Super, super confident in the Killer Gorilla. It's about medium confidence. Nasruddin Imavov is the younger fighter by 12 years. He could have the speed. He could have the accuracy. And he could win this fight. He's favored to win the fight, but I'm disagreeing with the public on quite a bit. I'm disagreeing with Vegas on quite a bit. And I'm going to fight. I'm going to go to war with my picks. I'm going to trust my instinct on these underdogs. And I'm going to look to make some more money. And look to have some more fun on a loaded card in Louisville, Kentucky. I was going to get the KFC chicken. You know, it's at the KFC Yum Center. But maybe on Friday I'll bring in a bucket of chicken and have some KFC on the show on Saturday. If I don't have KFC on Friday, I'm going to have it for Saturday. So, everybody, get your KFC chicken for this weekend. It's at the KFC Yum Center. And I'm telling you, we're going to have some fun. We're going to bang these bookies. And we're going to make the most of a very difficult card to predict and forecast. Now, the locks are absolutely hot. We're 7 in a row now. Unbelievable. We were just at 7 in a row. Robelius Dejpain just screwed us, and now we're right back at 7, so I hit 5 locks last week. I told you at the very start of the show, this is not going to be as easy as last week. I might just have 1 lock. I probably will have 1 lock. I'll probably have 1 or 2 dogs, because I have 6. But it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. I'm going to push more content out throughout the week. Follow me on all platforms. And make sure to comment your most confident prop at plus money. I'm going to bet on one person's comment. I'm going to tail along and look to make a bag with you. Hopefully you can make some money for the forecasters. They're going to tail along as well. It's not just me. I'm going to make the content up. I'm going to give you the credit. And we're going to produce a great show on Friday with more props, parlays, and picks. So if I have to change any picks, I'll let you know on the Friday show, the props and parlay show. We'll get right down to business. We'll make some money. I will continue to do my research. Until then, we got more tape study to do. You can never stop looking into these fights before they start, you know. Always do some more research. Always second guess what you're thinking. Make sure that you can give yourself an edge against the bookies. Because at the end of the day, it's us against the bookies. If you have an edge, if you have a high confidence pick, you better put hashtag forecast of the week. Make sure it's plus money too. and give it to the forecasters in the comments below. I'll tail with one. I'll respect each and every comment because I cannot do this without my forecasters and fight fiends each and every week. Smash that like button, suplex the subscribe button, and I'm coming back each and every week to produce my picks and my plays. If you don't agree with them, that's all right, but I just want you to know I plan on playing it smart, playing it calculated, and keep my eyes on the prize, trying to win some money here. You don't have to agree with all the picks, but some of them, if you agree, let's go cash some tickets. Let's collect some bags. You know what time it is.
Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
This is not over.